Jerry?
The PowerPoint presentation was not just about dilapidated buildings.
Right,
It was about streets and alleys.
right, we gotta start.
And I would really like it if somehow we could have a plan as to what we're going to do and when we're going to do it, so that people will say, God, they never fix our streets. And we could say, this street and this alley are on tap for the spring of 2011, and then this street and this street. And then they would, we, as citizens, would hold you to it. I've been on the council. We have talked. I have talked to this council and the administration. Yeah, we're going to do that. Yep, we got those in the plans. Yep, we're going to fix those streets. Hell, we said that when I was on there. And that's 10 years ago. And we haven't fixed a goddamn street.
We got the plan, though.
Nobody knows it.
We got the plan.
Where's the plan?
See, if you put that, if you put it in the paper, where everybody knows you have a plan,
Which streets are gonna get fixed next year and the year after?
Well, we have the plan, if we don't have the money to fix it, that's the problem.
then that should be told. Because people are saying, oh hell, they're never gonna fix our streets. They're just gonna let them rot. They're gonna fall apart.
What's wrong with the special assessment method that's always been used in tax aid?
Well, I'm going to throw something else on. I firmly believe that since everybody drives in all these streets, we ought to try to follow Lake City's example, and there's other towns that have done it. About every 2 years, they have a continuous bond issue. They replace 10 to 12 blocks. Sewer, curb and gutter, the whole 9 yards, every other year.
I think it'd be terrific.
And we need to start this plan, folks, figure out what it's going to cost, and if we need that special assessment, I firmly believe that the citizens in this community will support something that they can actually see, step on, spit on. I don't care.
I agree.
They will support something like that, but we need to get started with that. And instead of having to deal with all this time, we've always had this special assessment. Well, sometimes, we have 5 houses on the block. Sometimes we have 3. Sometimes we may only have 1. And in my personal opinion, if the whole town, you're a resident of this town, everybody's going to be utilizing, maybe not every day, maybe not every week, but sooner or later, if we plan to do the whole town, then everybody is going to be paying an equal share, and we don't have to worry about, okay, how come, your street got divided in 7 pieces and mine only got divided in 2, and then I got to a special assessment will be a bond issue. This is my personal opinion now. Will be a bond issue that's a continuous bond issue. We're going to set up a plan and start replacing this town with whatever this requires, and we need, and if it's going to cost X amount a year, try to figure this out, what it's going to do, and do it.
That's
So
called
then can you
general
raise the
obligation.
levy?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's,
I just, Susan, I agree with that. We
I do
all
too.
drive on these streets. It's not fair that one block has to pay for one street.
And that way we lose a lot of the bickering, a lot of the, hey, everybody lives here, everybody's going to pay.
Well, in the meantime, though, we have things, like the thing by Lucas and that. I paid for that street already. I paid on 4 streets, Martin, Boulevard, Gishwiller, and Mount.
I paid for the
But you know what?
blacktop in front of mine too.
Fix the damn thing. Let's seal the cracks so that they don't get all blown out and they all have to be fixed all the time. Can't we have a road repair program too? We do. When was the last time? Well, I saw the road doctor here a couple times, but I'm talking sealing the cracks. Let's take so many blocks and do it. But you got to put it down on paper so that the general public
Bingo.
understands it, because I've just driven through a lot of towns in the last couple of months, and I don't see anything that looks as bad as ours does. I don't know if we all have to go out with Roundup and kill all the weeds and stuff like that or what, but it's...
Oh, surely.
I just drove all the way to Wisconsin, went through all kinds of towns.
I've seen a lot of towns that look worse than ours. That's not a very...
It'd be hard to gauge our
And it
streets.
won't make people feel positive about fixing it, so let's get a positive plan to move forward.
Okay, and another thing
Take care
in
of it.
regards to that, Barb, I'm glad you said that. Why can't we sit here instead of first things out of our mouth is how we're gonna penalize you, or you. Can we develop a program here that is, doesn't cost much, to get some pride in certain sections of town competing against other sections, to see who can, and get somebody outside, okay, who did the best job on fixing up, from what their house was last year? Has that ever been done in this community? Or having this part of town cleaned up, and have somebody come in from Lake City, Ida Grove, whatever, and give them a block party or something, just something positive instead of being, okay, you don't paint your house, it's gonna cost you $1,000 a day. Has that ever been done?
I think a number of times. I think pride starts
I
at the
didn't
top.
know whether they had I remember we had a block party a couple of years when I moved first to town. But I haven't seen, I didn't know.
Maybe we didn't put it.
It was your fault.
Maybe you don't call it, but.
I brought my own food.
Maybe we can all go out and seal our own cracks in the streets and stuff like that.
I agree, Shirley, some of that stuff needs to get done, and we need to get this plan figured out, how to do it.
Well, for me, it's a very positive thing that people came here and are interested to see something done. Because time after time, we have a meeting here and there's nobody here to tell us what they think. So it's really nice to have you, and I hope we all step forward and work on this now and not just go home to our little homes and say, okay, we talked about it. We got to do something. This talk is very easy.
You need to drive around, take a look at everything that can stand improvement.
There
And
are
I'm
a
sure
lot
there's a
of
lot of
things.
things, but I'm also proud to be able to say I live in this town, because there's a lot of good things in this community. There's been a lot of things done. And, Shirley, when you said, our city's falling apart, that's,
Our infrastructure's old,
I
man.
realize that. But, I also realize it needs to get, there's a lot of replacement that needs to get done, not just fixing, replacement.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that our town, is just, because I'm proud of this town, and I'm proud of the people in it. And I don't want, I get the impression that, well,
I sat on a sidewalk committee back in the 90s, and we went through this whole thing, and they just said, well, the city improved their sidewalks, the sidewalks they own first. And they, oh, yeah, we'll do that. Where's that file? I think I still have it someplace buried, but nobody did a thing, nothing. So, we can study forever, we just need some action. We need
okay,
time
city,
to be able to do the
out of
action.
curiosity, what city sidewalks? Where are the city sidewalk ramp? Where's the city sidewalk?
Right.
Where's are you talking downtown?
There's city sidewalks downtown, there's cities that run
Do the
down.
property owners own
Down
the middle
through
of the
9th
street or where?
Street, there's some that walk over here by the fairground. I don't know.
Don't get into the sidewalk.
Because we have the whole
Do-
file someplace, and they were inspected sidewalk by sidewalk, foot by foot. And
The
all-
downtown or city
Everything,
sidewalks?
the whole
Or are they
city.
business
The
sidewalks?
whole city was.
Residential and business.
Yeah.
They're both, correct?
The files are somewhere.
I'm
I
sure
hope they
have
are,
one.
as much time as we spend on that.
Didn't happen.
But they are actual city
I would
sidewalks.
suggest that we we start here and we work out and get it planned and find the money to start on some of these projects, but we aren't going to get it done here in an hour. So don't go home and forget about it.
Barb, I
Yes.
just want to throw this one thing in. Anybody that drives down Gishway from 16th going east, how many of you go to the wrong side of the street and drive?
A lot
down
of us,
First Line?
and I'm not saying there aren't
You know,
bad streets, but I'm
it's
just saying not
just-
everything's bad.
That is just a good example of where some of the problems lie, is that they're really bad.
Yeah, Steve?
I just like to say thank you to council for doing stuff. We've been talking about it.
Thank you. Thank you again for everybody being here. Are we done with G?
We're not done yet.
What?
Motion.